Filming. Okay.
Do I look too comfortable?
All right, here we go. Intro time. Local artists for the second time. In space.
In space.
I guess no one knows that, but
That's right, baby. We had some technical difficulties. Thank you. And welcome to episode, who knows what number this is going to come out in order.
the year 2027.
Potentially. This is Local Artists with, go ahead. It's you.
Frank.
And Taylor Knott. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
That was quite the intro.
Thanks. Should I be putting in our names in the intro?
No, I mean, we can introduce ourselves.
Okay.
I don't mind. It takes 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Great intro.
Thanks.
And that was you, just for the viewers
No.
to know. That was your voice. That was your beautiful.
It's a Fiverr guy.
A what?
Huh?
A what?
A Fiverr guy?
I don't know what a Fiverr guy is.
Well, just believe me.
No, I believe you. But I also don't believe you because I know that was you.
Yeah. I should start a Fiverr. They should be my advertisement for Fiverr.
You keep using that word as if
I
I didn't just tell you that I had
can-
no idea what it meant.
I can make you. It's like TaskRabbit, but for you need somebody to edit something or to, you know,
Yeah.
make that shit.
Give you a
Make
jingle.
that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's a good advertisement. That was unbelievable.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I can't do it for real. I can't do them for real.
Yeah.
They have to have some kind of underlying irony because of their mediocrity.
Yeah. It was good. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you.
It really fired you up.
It did fire
it's
me
been
up.
You've had things have been dreary
Around here?
right before we started.
Oh,
Things
yeah,
were
we've had some
dreary.
clicking. We've had some buzz.
Clicking, we've had some buzz. We're starting like an hour and a half late almost.
I'm ready to go. I was mad.
I still am
Up
really
until
anxious, honestly.
Right when it hit. Right when you carried out the in space. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I'm over it. I'm completely over it. And I'm ready to rock.
We're in space now.
We're in
weightless,
space.
baby.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
think a clicking matters in space?
Nah.
Is there sound in space? There is.
There's not clicking, I tell
Is there
you what.
sound in space?
I think there is.
There is no sound anywhere where there is no air because sound is just air moving. So no, not in the vast majority of space.
That's deep. You like how he had to throw in vast majority?
Let's dive into that.
The vast majority of space.
Space. Yeah, we're in space, baby. We're flying. We're floating. I'm ready to go.
You want to hear it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You want to hear the dream I had
Yes.
after Thanksgiving?
After, is this like a
The
post-dinner
night of
nap,
Thanksgiving.
or is it
No,
okay?
no.
It's a real. Yeah,
Yeah.
You didn't pull a trace and miss all the family
Right.
events.
I waited to sleep until
Yeah, you're respectful. Hey,
the people from out of town. You
Yeah.
know.
as any
We're
good
done
person
visiting
would
with
do.
each other.
Yeah,
It's
of
okay
course.
though. I don't work till 4 a.m. though, so it's different.
It's true.
But anyway, yeah, this really strange dream. I woke up. I don't actually know how I couldn't really tell how I felt. The dream started as some dreams do, where I was like trying to whack off.
Of course.
I was trying to watch porn on my phone and whack off.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't had one of these dreams. I must
this
say
could
I
go
haven't
either
had
direction
one
of like
these
that's how little you do it is you're dreaming about it, or it could
Mhm.
be this is how steeped in this
dreams. Or it's
you
like
are.
60% of baths.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, you were having this
Um,
dream. I apologize.
No, it's all good. That's all right. It goes back to what I was saying the other week about we need to be okay with being vulnerable and, you know. 'cause
I
that
was
is-
making a general blanket
like
statement.
if you didn't know me at all and you clicked on this, that would be an interesting way to get to know me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But
You
I'm
like debate.
okay, but instead of that, we're talking about
shut this down.
No, because I'm being vulnerable with my dream.
Okay, I'm sorry.
In
I'm
which-
fired up. The intro got me fired up. I'm sorry.
That's what. It's good. That's good.
'Kay.
It's gonna be different every week.
The intro is gonna be different every week.
Everything is gonna be.
I'm
different
gonna be
every
fired
week.
up every week.
Assuming that I can get this to work reliably.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Your dream. You were trying to watch.
So I was trying to watch porn on my phone and whack off, and I got interrupted by something like somebody called me or something, and so I had to leave where I was at, and the room was vague. There was no,
You didn't think to just not answer the call.
I had to go. I had to answer the call. See, that one thing you'll say about dream me is even if I'm whacking off, I'll answer the call. You know,
Reality you will send you to voicemail, but
my voicemail is like, beep, sorry, I'm busy whacking off. Give me about 2 more minutes. In about 2 more, I'll call you back in about 3 minutes. Anyway, so
you're doing it twice then.
give me 2 more minutes. I'll call you back about 3 minutes right when I'm about to come. Anyway,
This is off to a flying start.
we're in space.
Right.
So
Okay, you're doing your business.
Okay,
You're
we're past that
Probably in the tub.
I
You get a
some
call.
call or something. I don't remember what exactly it was. I had to leave. I had to go. So I left and I went and something happened. I don't remember. I come back, okay, to the place, and now instead of the room I was in, whatever it was, it's like this big. You know, you ever been at like in a party city?
Mm-hmm. The store.
So it's like that, where it's like there's these huge, the store where it's these huge, most stores, they have those big things, like a Winco or a Costco thing will have those big things, but they're these like huge stacks of stuff and whatever. So I was going back in, and all of a sudden it was that, and it was like a hiring day, like a mass hiring day, okay? So there's like 30 people there all of a sudden, and all of a sudden I'm wearing the same T-shirt as them.
Okay, so
stuff.
let me catch myself up and
'Kay.
potentially the viewers. You are you're getting down and dirty. You're doing some self business.
Or I was trying to,
But
it's
you were
vague.
yeah, of course. You were
I mean, the memory is
in the
vague.
process.
It's a dream.
Of,
Sure, yeah. I'm in the middle
of doing some self care. You get a call,
Or self-abuse, depending on,
depending.
yeah.
When you look like you, might be abuse.
It could be prejudice, but I'd bet on it,
So you
right.
get a call. You don't know who this call is from.
Mm-hmm. I
'Kay.
don't remember.
You
I
don't
answer-
remember
I
what
do
you
the
talked
thing.
about.
Yep.
Okay, you come back. Now you're in Party City, and you're there for
No,
a
I
group
had to
interview.
leave. Literally, I had to leave the room, and my phone was left in the room for some reason. I don't
Okay.
remember. I had to do something. I come back thinking I'm going to finish whacking off.
Of course, but it turns out you're in a Party City.
But my phone is still sitting on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of like a Party City mixed with like a Lowe's mixed with like a Plato's Closet.
Yeah, it almost doesn't
It's just
matter
a huge
where
store
it
with
is.
everything.
Okay,
And a bunch of losers are getting hired there, and I'm one of them. I look down, I'm wearing the vest or the shirt with the little thing on
okay.
it or whatever.
Now we're caught up.
And the phone is on the side of this wooden table, and this guy, which actually this did happen to me at a bar once, where this guy is sitting at the table like it's his phone, and he's looking on my phone. He's just looking on my phone for I don't know
This
what.
happened in real life, at a bar.
We can get.
Let's
to that.
get back to that. Yes.
So,
I'm done interrupting.
I'm looking on. He's just looking on my phone, and so I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And also, oh yeah, that's right, I was whacking off. So I walked up to him. I take my phone out of his hand, and I say, "Sorry, I was busy watching porn or whatever, but this is my phone. Like, what are you doing?" And he just didn't say anything to me. And so then it's like the trials, right? Like the manager guy is like, "Okay, everybody."
How many pinatas can you lift up in an hour?
Right. Everybody is like, just here, you 10 people, you do this, you organize all the shoes. Oh, I remember what interrupted the whacking off.
Okay.
It was in the conversation. that I had with the person
these
that
are two
interrupted
big
me.
pieces.
Yeah, sorry, it literally just came back to me. It was my older brother,
Okay.
and he wanted to talk to me about how I need to shape up and what the hell am I doing with my life. And I was defensive and whatever.
That doesn't sound like you.
And then he told me, well, I'm just sad because you're such a huge disappointment. And I said, what did you expect? You know? And because, to be a disappointment, there has to be expectation. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what disappointment means. Anyway, so I get back. I'm feeling fucked up. And also, I'm sort of caught masturbating in this weird way. And also, I'm working at a Party City store.
Yeah.
So it was this whole like, oh man. And I was in a group B or whatever. We have to go
Dang, man.
organize the shoes.
Didn't even make group A.
So we're trying to organize the shoes, and there's somebody leering over us, being like, who's the fastest, who's making mistakes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm bad at it, and I don't even want to be good at it. So I'm bad at it, and the guy's like,
that is so
talk to
you.
me.
You.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's very you.
I'm trying my best. Like, I'm trying my best. And I felt like I was trying my best, even though I hated everything about it. I felt like I was doing my best, and it was bad. It wasn't good enough. And so he said, you're out of here. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get to work here or something like that. And then at the other side of this big store is like a stage that's maybe about the size, like the height of this couch. Okay, so just a little stage, and it's at the other side of the store, and on the stage is Dan Harmon, and
Okay.
he's doing Harmontown. Do you know Harmontown?
I don't think I've seen Harmontown.
So
no.
Harmontown, it's not a podcast. They've stopped doing it for a couple years now. But it was a podcast that he did for, I don't know, 5-6 years, and it was live. He would do it in front of a little comedy club filled with his fans, and he would just rant and get drunk, and they would play D&D live and stuff. It was just weird.
Yeah.
But there's some really... I've been watching some of it again lately.
Yeah. And Dan Harmon, creator of Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty,
Yeah, Community.
Monster House,
Yeah.
whatever. Other stuff.
Harmontown, apparently.
Yeah, Harmontown, and he's doing Harmontown, and so I go to watch, and so I walked over, and I sit down like on my ass, like Indian style, in front of the stage. And I'm watching Harmontown, and I kind of, like he's right there, and then everything kind of goes into like this blur as I get caught up in the show. And then all of a sudden, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and...
Can I guess who it is?
Yeah.
It's your older brother.
No. I look up, and it's Dan Harmon.
You're like, hold on.
And he's come off the stage, and he had one of those like plastic like grade school chairs. For me to sit in. Like he brought me a chair, and I felt appreciated.
Yeah.
And then I woke up.
There's a lot there.
I think that pretty much sums up where I'm at. Like in my life, who I am, you know what I mean?
That is pretty perfect.
Yeah, I was really shaken, but I was also happy.
He saw you.
Like, I wanted to cry for, like, 3 different reasons. You know what I mean?
That's really good.
We're in space, though, so...
That's a
nobody
great
will hear
dream.
it
No,
or
that
travel
was a
anywhere.
great dream. Our producer has something.
He handed you the chair and he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. Yeah, I almost don't like to think about it or want to break it down because it is so, like...
It's very layered.
Ugh, my dad died, and I want to be a writer and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's just crap. But,
It's not all crap.
no, it's not crap, but...
But it is a funny dream, and I do see that is a very telling dream, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's just very funny.
Yeah, I figured it would wrap me up, pretty much.
It is. You know now everything you need to know about Frank. He gets cut off while he's whacking it.
Yeah.
He loves Dan
I
Harmon.
will talk to you. I will do the thing I'm responsibly supposed to do when you cut me whacking off, but I'm going to start whacking off again.
Of course.
And I'm going to not listen to your advice, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it was a lot.
It was good. We're floating, baby. We're in space.
We are floating.
Oh, dude, I just cracked a serious ankle. Popped it. I didn't crack it. Did you guys hear that? That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I did. I don't think it picked it up in the mic. And
Oh,
I
I
still
hope
heard
it
through
did.
my headphone.
Can they see this? Okay.
Oh, well, wouldn't you just put that on the thumbnail or something? You know what I mean? Like,
'Kay.
yeah, it'll be fine. Or
Um,
fade to that at the end, you know, whatever.
so Thanksgiving. This was your sleep after the night of turkey. After
That's
the what's the thing in turkey?
Tryptophan.
Tryptophan.
Mhm.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, well, it was wonderful.
Yeah,
It's really lovely.
it's great. What'd you like? Give me your best moment and the food that stood out to you. The one piece of food.
I don't know when my best moment was. There was a couple of really good moments, really
Yeah.
fun moments.
Yeah. Your nephew was in town, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's right.
That's probably fun to see him, huh?
Well, there was one where he's a little young for me.
Do I look too comfortable?
He's a little young for me right now. Like, I can't really have any kind of weird conversation with him. And
yeah, he's one.
I don't know. Maybe if I hadn't like started doing drugs and drinking when I was like 20, I would probably still be this guy where I'm like, I'm gonna play with you.
I
run
love
after you."
kids. I
Yeah.
love
Well,
it.
it's a better person to be, especially two kids.
Yeah.
I think, but I just am not. I feel uncomfortable, and I'm like, I don't want you to hate me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be oppressive. Like
He
your, like,
seems
great
very
aunt being
mature
like, "Oh,
for
give
a
me kiss,"
1-year-old.
and whatever. But one of my favorite parts was the old grandpa. Him and his wife owned the house, and it was their
And this
house.
is your in-laws' grandparents,
in-laws, yeah.
or it's your wife's grandparents. Okay.
That's right. And he was talking to me, and he was talking to me about had this tractor since '89, and had this tractor since '67, and whatever. And that one doesn't run, and this.
And
one
you're like, I just had a dream where
had to
I
do that.
was jacking off.
No, it was after this night that dream
Yeah.
happened. It was the eve of Black Friday, I guess you could put it. He's talking to me about whatever, and it was fine. But then later in the evening, he's talking to my older brother, and I was sort of eavesdropping, like standing behind the couch listening to them, and he told me earlier when he was doing his, I have to talk to you, it's Thanksgiving, we have to have a conversation thing. He's telling me about his old tractors and nothing. What he's telling my older brother is about how Hansel and Gretel are it's folklore based off of the communists and the socialists that were starving so much that they started eating each other, and that got taken out of the history books because it makes communism look bad, but we were able to pass down the message through the folklore.
Welcome to Thanksgiving with
I know,
older
but-
people.
Well, I resented it almost because I'm like, out of the two of us, the guy that's like me or the guy that works for a Fortune 500 company,
Yeah.
Who are you gonna
I get
tell
the
this-
tractor talk,
I get
and
the
you're
tractor
giving
talk.
folklore talk to him.
You're explaining to him about the communists and eating each other, cannibalism.
He would have eaten that up, just like
Oh, I would have loved
Hansel
it.
and Gretel.
I had to, like, if he was telling him about the tractors, I wouldn't have been eavesdropping.
no.
I hated that he saved the good one for.
And it must be noted that you and your brother are married to
Right.
sisters.
Well, it's that time that's so sublime. Any listenership is winning. Don't ask why we're socialized to share our arbitrary opinions. Should you disagree, it's plain to see you're stupid and nobody loves you. It's gotta be Excuse me, sir. There seems to be some mistake. I believe this is whites only seating.
Best jingle to date.
So your top 5
All right.
this week.
Taylor's top 5 this week. That came at a good time. Felt like that was good. It did scare me a little bit.
It
at
was a
first.
little
Did
too
you know it was
loud.
coming up?
Well, here's the thing: is I put them in and then I forget because
Yeah.
I'm not
It
keeping track of
scared me.
time.
Were you taken aback by, and then you were taken a second aback by the whites only seating? Okay.
Well, it was old timey.
Yes. It was funny. It was funny.
I'm not condoning that
No.
idea.
It was you saying it, but you're playing a character.
I'm
Yes,
being
of
Eddie
course.
Cantor. Ironic.
Yes.
Eddie Cantor.
I understand. We
not
want
ironic,
it to be
parody.
We would like it to be known that the official statement and stance of this podcast
Mm-hmm.
is anti-racism.
100% we're going to have all sorts of black people on this show.
Yeah, most of
At
mine
least
are
one,
in
actually.
prison, so I have a lot of black friends. They're not.
Okay.
Well, and it's worth
They're
mentioning.
indisposed.
That's the thing is like I wish we lived in a world where that was just a joke.
It's not a joke. A couple of them.
It's funny, but it's not a joke.
It's sad. It is sad.
It's sad in reality. It's funny when we're in space.
Yes, and that's where we're at.
We're in space right now, you guys.
Go ahead, Trace.
Well, it's also worth mentioning that Frank didn't say anything racist. It was the guy he hired off of Fiverr.
It's true.
That's
So-
right. It was the Fiverr guy.
Yeah. All right. Taylor's top 5 of this week.
He said, "You don't even have to pay me. I can't wait."
The top 5 this week is going to be my top 5 Leonardo DiCaprio movies.
I like this.
Okay, we're starting off at number 5. I should say that there's some that I haven't seen. Like, I think The Revenant has always gotten high praise. I have not seen The Revenant. I didn't put Titanic on here because
So you didn't do
It's been-
research.
No,
You're
I-
just going from your.
I've seen
experience.
probably 10 of them when I
That's
was looking
enough,
up them, and
my
I give the
opinion.
top 5. I've seen Titanic. I was young. It also, whatever. It's not as good as the other movies. So here we go. Here's my number 5 Leonardo DiCaprio movie. In number 5, we have Catch Me If You Can. Pretty good. I watched it for the first time about a week ago. Very solid flick. I watched it in 2 parts. I wish I would have watched it in 1. I started it a little late. It's kind of a long movie, but I did watch it the next day and finished it. I liked it. It made the top 5. In number 4, we have.
That's all you have to say about it.
I mean, do you want me to get
No,
into
let's keep
every
going
single
then.
one?
Let's just keep going.
I'll get into the maybe top 3 a little bit more.
All right.
In number
4.
4, we have Shutter Island.
Shutter Island,
Uh,
the movie with the least rewatchability of all time.
maybe it's still a good. I
no,
mean,
it's a bit from another podcast, but
Oh, okay.
once you've seen,
I mean, yeah, of course.
that
That's
movie,
a lot of
because
well,
the
no,
whole
you're
movie
right. Yeah.
sort of relies on the twist.
Yeah, which comes at the end. Once
the
you
very
know
end.
the twist.
Once
I
you know the
understand.
twist, and again, I'm plagiarizing this, but I'm plagiarizing it because it is true.
Yeah.
And it's a reason to watch the movie again. Once you know the twist, it's basically a comedy
Yeah, that's true.
in a way.
Yeah, I would say it's good enough that I've seen it twice.
Mm-hmm.
First time, I thought it was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, it was like 3 years later when I watched it, and I knew the whole thing,
Right.
but I couldn't remember how it
Yeah,
happened,
yeah.
and so it was still very good.
Do you wait? Just one last thing. Do you believe the ending of that movie is left to interpretation, or that this is what the twist is? Because I think if you're one of these stupid people,
Well, you asking me
go-
that question means that it's open for interpretation.
well, everything's open for interpretation, but people are wrong.
Yeah.
About things.
What do you
And
think?
It's not. Well, I'm saying if you think it's not open to interpretation.
I didn't think so.
I don't think it is at all.
I think people would
But-
like it to be, but I
right.
don't
It's like
think
either
it
wishful
is.
thinking or stupidity, which is kind of the same thing in action. So I guess if you think it's ambiguous, then you could watch it again as like a thriller.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Number 3 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
See, I was wondering if you were going to define the Tarantino stuff as Leo DiCaprio
Anything
movies.
he's like the main or
But he's not
top
really-
3 billing.
I guess there's not really. I guess there's not a strict main character in that story.
Almost no.
Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
does.
I mean, I guess Kill Bill was.
that's one. Yeah.
But yeah, the other ones. I mean, even like Hateful Eight was. You have a lot of stars.
Right.
But I would say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is definitely can absolutely be categorized as a Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Okay.
Is that fair? Trace is.
I would say it's open to interpretation because I'd probably call it a Brad Pitt movie.
As somebody who has never seen it, it's definitely a Leo DiCaprio
Okay.
movie.
I guess I would say it's a Tarantino movie.
Yeah. Well,
But
you're.
whatever. That's
The first time I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I didn't love it. I watched it again. Well,
Yeah.
I would say this
I wanted
to
to
qualify
hate
it. I didn't know that the first time I saw it, I didn't know that it was even about the Sharon Tate thing. I didn't even know about that. I mean, I'm pleading ignorance
as
here.
history.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
second time I
Well,
watched
there's
it, knowing
also
that,
alternative.
I loved the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I really loved the movie.
The revisionist history thing, I would normally, I don't know actually, because on the one hand, if it's surreal, then it's good.
Yeah.
Like Tarantino makes things that
Yeah.
are sort of
I mean, Brad Pitt slamming.
right. It's not that it's outside the realm of reality in terms of possibility, but it is kind of exaggerated.
Yes. It makes it maybe not funnier, but I mean definitely funnier.
Well, yeah, it
because-
makes it into like RoboCop instead
Yes.
of
Yeah.
we're actually
Yeah.
talking about what happened. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if there's no commentary on what happened other than these people are pieces of shit that
Yeah.
we should have had a dog eat them.
Yes.
You know, same with Inglourious Bastards. You
Yeah.
know, kind of thing.
That's maybe my top 5 movies. Period. Inglourious Bastards. So good.
That's a good one.
Okay, number 2, and this ending is open for interpretation. What do you think it is?
The best Leo DiCaprio movie.
No, this is number 2.
Oh, number
And
2.
this ending is definitely open for interpretation.
Oh, then maybe I don't know. I'm gonna guess Gilbert Grape. 'Cause you're kind of
Inception.
a sap. You'd put Inception above Once Upon a Time in You'd put Inception above Catch Me If You Can?
I loved Inception.
When's the last time you saw it?
A few years ago.
Do you still love it?
I
guess
do.
yeah. You said
It's my,
yeah.
it's number 2. You didn't like Inception?
It's. I guess I didn't. The thing about it is that people are like, it's confusing and it's layers of an onion type story.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it's like has depth or is
Yeah.
interesting, and it's like no, it's like a spy movie where the cool part is the hallway that's turning as they're running down it. You know what I mean?
No,
it's
good.
like a fine action flick, but it's not like people treat it like it's like thought provoking or something, and it's like no, figuring out the only thought provoking thing is like trying to figure out lore that doesn't have any rules.
Yeah. The only problem I have with it is that it's a bit transphobic. I mean,
It
they
is?
didn't
How?
they didn't take it off the air after Elliot Page transitioned.
That's true.
So I have a problem with that. But other than that, I thought it was good. Have you seen Inception? What do you think?
I've seen it, but I saw it when I saw it when it came out when I was like,
All right.
I don't know,
Well,
9
then
or
we don't
whatever.
care.
I have zero thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, thank you for picking up the mic and interrupting that.
The only thing,
Okay,
you know
and
what?
we do have thoughts.
Well, I do have
You thought
thoughts
it was
on one
real.
thing. Yeah. I hate that it fooled people into thinking that Inception is a thing inside of another thing. And if I hear one more
that's true.
person who has like a burrito with 2 tortillas go, burritoception, I'm going
Right.
to shoot myself in the face.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
I
guess it
will
just
be saying
doesn't
that to
roll-
you later
It
today.
doesn't roll off the tongue well to say like rush burrito resting dolls. You know what I
true.
mean? But yeah, you are right. I hadn't thought of that.
Okay,
now
and
that's
the
gonna
number
bother me. Thanks.
Do you hear that often enough that it will bother you? I don't know if I've ever
Yeah,
even.
When the
You
movie
know what?
came out, people were saying that about anything and everything.
The
And
9-year-old you was
it pops
pissed
out.
off.
The 19-year-old me is pissed off. I'm
Yeah.
sick of people doing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
number one, and I think this, without a doubt, this is probably my top 3 favorite movies all time. The problem is you're going to poke holes in it like you did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but my number 1 is Django.
Another Tarantino.
Yes,
You just really love Tarantino.
I do like Tarantino. But Django's unbelievable. It's so good.
Django is very good.
And of course,
It's-
I mean,
it's
the
very
lead
fun.
actor is Jamie Foxx.
Right.
But I would still call. Is that fair to call that a Leonardo DiCaprio movie? I mean, of course, it's every Tarantino movie is a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, it's sort of the
but
same as the Hollywood thing.
he does have more of a role than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But that to me is like pretty far above the next 4. Django is so good.
Well, I'm honestly I'm a little disconcerted,
Okay.
and I'm a little surprised after what you said about the good thing you said about the transphobic element of Inception, because like a Tarantino movie, it's like his whole I don't want to say shtick, but maybe he'd self-admit it as shtick.
It's making
Is
the
like
oppressed the winner.
No,
kind
no,
of.
no. Tarantino movies, here's what they're like in like a cosmological, like a spiritual sense, like as a phenomenon, are like we're gonna get away with rolling around in this AIDS blood because it's just a movie, so the consequences don't matter. So, what if it would be fun to have a big AIDS blood orgy together? You know, like every movie he does is like this, like the worst thing ever happening to good people and to bad people, and it's like well written enough, and it's enough of a like they're excellently made movies. I'm not knocking him in terms of capability, but it is this thing of like it's fun to have like a guy fucking this guy up the ass, and the other guy comes in with a shotgun and blows his dick off. Like that's fun to see, you know. And that's my only thing that I'm worried about. Then is like if you have that understanding, like if you're looking at his movies through that prism, then there is sort of something to criticize. Because, yeah, sure, it's an anti-racist movie because of why there's a black hero that kills all the racists or whatever. But as a Tarantino movie where it's like, oh, it's sort of fun to get to see this happen. Like, it's an excuse, you know. You have these, like, really horrific, complete atrocities towards people based racially. You know what I mean?
I like Django.
Yeah, I was trying to trip you up actually, but now that I'm actually thinking about the movie, it's like everything like that is the setup for the punchline of blowing white people's heads off.
Potentially,
So, never mind.
I can have some sentimental
My
value
sophistry didn't.
with Django.
legs.
The first time I ever watched it was with you.
That's the first time I ever
In
watched
California.
it too. It was really fun.
So
Had a great time.
fun. Got some In and Out. Watched some Jang.
The Monster Burger.
Oh, so good. I did want to talk about a touch of play the jingle, local art.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that'd be good to feature on
Yeah.
a show called Local Artists.
you came and saw me host my first open mic.
That's
And
right.
I very much appreciated that you came. I was not expecting it because you
I
had
thought I
said
had
you were
plans,
not.
yeah.
What happened to those plans?
Somebody asked me to feature for an open mic that's basically like music version of Kill Tony,
Okay.
but because it's music, everybody's nice to each other.
Yeah, lame.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a good podcast.
No, it's nice.
Well, I don't think it's actually a podcast yet. It'll be a podcast eventually, but they're just doing
It's actually
it
a
as
pretty
an
good
open mic.
idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. what is that one called? It's the same kind of thing. Artists Stage.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
They could
So-
workshop the name, but
Well, that's what I told him, but he's already gone with it.
okay.
But
It's not bad.
I don't know what I'm talking about because this is called local artists. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I'm saying they stole it from us, I think.
He's been doing it for like 3 months.
Well,
But
he's,
it's
he's a
okay.
thief. I would not support. Support it. I'm sure it sounds like a
I
good
was
idea.
asked to feature. I'm planning on coming to it this next Tuesday if I work enough hours before then.
Yeah. And you don't have a diagnosed stuttering problem.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a little messed up. My head's starting to hurt because the fucking clicking, and I don't have any segments. And
We're talking. Okay, we have. This is the segment. It's
it's
called
just-
local art.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
And you were going to do like a minute song.
Man, I was.
Or
it
were
was
you
gonna be so
emceeing,
cool.
or-
I was gonna do a rap. I was gonna throw a rap battle on you.
This?
Yes. A beat was going to start playing, and somebody was going to go, oh, shit, it's time to fucking battle.
Well, I wish you didn't tell me that, and next week it will
Well,
be
I'm not
here.
going to do it now because it's too much
Why?
work. It's too much fucking work
Ugh.
because my shit is broken and
What do you
stupid.
need? Okay, we'll
This
talk
to
about this
work.
after.
I
This is
need
not good
this to
podcasting.
work.
Well, let's talk about it after. Okay, so you were going to feature
No,
on this.
It's still going to be a surprise when I do
sing-song.
it eventually,
Okay.
okay? I'm not
We're
going to
in
tell you.
space.
All right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just really upset.
It's fine. We're having a good time.
Okay.
You were going to feature. I thought you were saying you were going to do a rap battle at this thing, and I thought, oh wow, that's bold, and I loved it.
Oh, you did that. No, yeah, I was asked to feature, and then an hour before I was supposed to leave, the guy's like, "Oh, I actually asked this other guy to feature a week ago that I forgot about. Is that cool?"
Okay,
And I
so
was like, "Yeah, that's
definitely
cool."
don't support this guy then.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
No.
We're
Okay,
very
so-
good friends.
You
We worked
came
a lot
to the open mic. I appreciated that.
That's
I
right.
wanted to get
appreciated
your.
it. I thought you did great.
I wanted to get your real thoughts here.
I thought you did great. It made me realize something about myself too, where sometimes, well, you've been telling me about these jokes or these premises, or you'll tell me a joke, and usually I'll kind of be like, whatever, because I'll like want to dissect it like I do any
Sure.
idea that you're writing down
Yeah.
to perform, but something that, and I don't know how I forgot this. It was like I may as well have been your mom. You may as well have been telling your mom what your ideas are, because I was forgetting that it's like, no, I'm going to be saying this in a dark room with 60 or so people, and I'm the only person lit,
Yeah.
and everybody's looking at me. So my joke about this joke about like whatever black people or something, because you would tell me a joke and I'd be like, yeah, let's go
It's almost
deeper with
never
it.
funny that
then,
way
but,
either.
yes, and then that's the thing in the context of when you're actually doing it as stand up, and you look great on stage, like you look like you belong on stage.
Thanks.
But when you actually say it, where it's like, now here's 60 different minds reacting to it at the same time. Like you said jokes in your set that you had told me before that half the room all of a sudden goes woo, it gets this big reaction, which I think is still a very good thing. You don't. The main thing is engagement, and
Yeah.
I mean the main thing's laughter, of course, but
Yeah.
like engagement and tension, because
Yeah.
tension's good. Because then when you laugh again, you're like, oh, it's extra rewarding.
Yeah.
I thought you did a really nice job. I really liked the stuff in between the other shitty open micers.
Yeah.
Where
They're good. Some of
I
them are
mean,
good.
against you, it's sort of easy to just keep doing the joke they were doing.
Yeah.
But I thought you did a really
Yeah,
nice
that
job
stuff
with
is,
it. And it was very seamless.
really
you know.
cheap laughs, but I'll take them all day long.
I did have one question for
Uh-huh.
you. I didn't know. I hadn't realized you have an sort of an anti-swearing thing.
Yeah.
What is that?
I would say overall in my life, I don't really swear. I mean, sometimes like around friends, obviously,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
but I would like to not, if possible, on stage. I don't need to be like the cleanest comic. I'd like to be like considered like a clean comic, but you know,
Right.
I'll make fun of different things or people or whatever, and that's funny.
You'll make a joke about sex, but you're not going to say I'm fucking her in the
Yeah,
ass.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's something nice about that. It's kind of lost to our culture.
I just don't really. I don't know. I just don't do it. I just decided before I even started stand up that I was like, I'm not going to swear on stage. And maybe if there's like a joke that it's so much funnier,
And it needs it
yeah,
or something.
then maybe I
Kind
don't
of like
really
the
want.
Jerry Seinfeld
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I mean, now
that's
he's
right.
older. He's loosened up considerably
Yeah.
with swearing.
But yeah, I just don't really do it. I mean, I haven't put much thought other than I was like, I just don't really want to swear. I mean, I'm a Christian. I'd like people to be able to.
Comedy for Christ.
I mean, not necessarily that.
You'd
but
like to be able to work the churches and the.
Sure. I mean, whatever.
around
I
Spokane.
mean, yeah, I hadn't thought about that specifically, but it is kind of like I had
Well,
this one
there's
time.
a hell of a lot more churches than there are comedy
It's
clubs.
true.
It's a legitimate vein.
this one time
It's just not funny.
and this is kind of it's not why I decided, but I mean, I guess the answer to your question is I don't really swear. So I'm not gonna do it on stage, especially like in front of people that I'd like them to know that I am a Christian. But I remember this one time I was playing Hoop Fest, and Hoop Fest is a basketball tournament, and I play with guys who are very obnoxious. And they swear and they push and they, you know, all this nonsense, right?
They
and
play
I try
some
to
basketball.
Yes.
on the
I
street.
guess. And I'm married and I have children, and I know that this 3-on-3 street ball tournament is not the end of the world. So I try to like stay out of it, especially the last couple of years after like having kids and you know
Yeah.
getting older. But
You never
the people
know
I
who's
play
going to
with,
go to school together. And
yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying is a couple weeks after my team had like gotten a little bit into it with another team, I had stayed out of it. I was like trying to talk to the guys on the other team, like, oh, you know, he's just being ridiculous. Like, sorry, you know. One of the guys from the other team showed up at my church like 2 weeks later. And I'm on like the prayer team, you know?
Nice.
And so I am glad that I like stayed out of it and didn't
Yeah.
go like pushing him and swearing at him.
You're
And
like
then he
this
shows up and
and then
yeah, and I'm up front 2 weeks later, you know, waiting for if you want to come to the altar to get prayed for.
Like he's not gonna come because he expects you to like pray for his like dribbling under his legs or
Yeah.
something. Like you're gonna diss him.
Yeah,
at
right.
the altar.
Like this guy's on the prayer team, and he was just calling me all sorts of names a couple weeks ago. So I don't want to be like a hypocrite. So I think that is one thing, and it's kind of weird because I've had people ask me, like quite a few comics ask me if I was a Christian, and I don't do like God
Evangelism.
jokes. You know, like I don't
that's
have
true.
jokes like I was at church the other week and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
you know, if something funny happened
At church,
at
you
church,
talk
maybe I'd
about
say it. But
yeah.
but just the fact that I like don't swear is such a different thing than all, especially local comedians. Because
especially starting.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
it's easy to get a laugh when your punchline
My
is
dick
the
is
F-
small.
yes,
Yeah,
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 right.
yeah.
So yeah, I
It's
just
like,
don't
a
really.
40-year-old man
Yeah.
saying his dick is small.
And I gave
Uh-huh.
Jenny her first joke that
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
laughed at.
Nice.
Because she was like, you don't swear. She's like, you swear. And I kind of liked that almost as a compliment. Like she never noticed that I didn't swear during my sets.
Yeah.
She was like, you
You're-
swear?
You're in the cool
And-
cool club.
Yeah, I get. And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, well, I guess you don't. Like I hadn't really realized. And I was like, and then she said something about like racist jokes or whatever. And I said, you should say that when you go up because I'm not going to say
Okay, so she did come up with it, but
yes. Yeah, we
you-
both we
you gave her
workshopped
the
it.
balls.
I gave her at
do
least
it.
the okay. And she probably would have. She maybe would have done it anyway. So I guess I shouldn't take too much credit.
She
but
probably would have.
yeah, I said you should say like you won't
I
say
think
the
it was
B
probably
word, but
her
you'll say
biggest laugh. Too,
Yeah.
So
she's. I mean, I'm not gonna get into it,
Yeah. We
Um,
can talk about it some other time if she
Yeah,
comes
if she
on.
comes on, that would
Yeah.
be great. Yeah, she's nice. I mean, she's nice.
She seems like a nice person, and it'd also be if the podcast goes really awry, as she said during her set, growing up in foster care.
Yeah.
We're both licensed to.
So then we drop the mics and we restrain her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We've literally
her in
been
right
trained,
response.
and we have
Yeah.
years of experience.
Yeah.
Of yeah, exactly.
But it was really fun. I enjoyed hosting. That was really fun. I'm glad you came.
it was a blast.
I'm-
I was glad you saw me and invited me to sit with you
Yeah.
because I didn't want to just do that.
Yeah.
You know, one, I was worried that it would be weird, like if somebody recognized me, but then I also didn't want to realize that nobody would recognize me.
You thought you were getting called up to the stage.
For a second I thought I was.
Yeah, I
'Cause
just. I mean, I
had-
did too.
Maybe in jest you had kind of said it.
Yes.
Because I also in the back of my head I was like, I'm sure he realizes what a faux pas that would be.
Yeah, I
Like
would
hosting
be,
your first time.
yeah,
Oh, hey, here's my buddy.
Yeah,
who
I would
hasn't
not
done
be able
stand-up
to
in 3 years.
host for
yeah,
a
exactly.
while.
But then I did get confused when that guy came over and I
Yeah.
overheard my name.
Did you know him?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could tell that he worked there.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh,
And
maybe
he's been
that's
doing
the
it for
guy.
a little while, so I didn't know if you. Did you know Chris Jessup?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I
Yeah,
saw you guys
actually-
chatting after, but
Yeah, I did a I did a comedy debate thing with him
Yeah.
once, and
Okay.
I was against him and I lost.
mm,
But I think my team lost mostly because one of the people on his team was a redheaded girl with the biggest tits I've ever seen in person. And the whole night, like she was one of these ladies, but she has like a high squeaky voice,
Yeah.
and stuff. And so
Yeah.
her jokes were bad, but it's like a bunch of drunk dudes
Yeah.
on the border of Idaho. Yeah, yeah. So whatever, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty funny.
I think he was hosting the first time I ever did it. Maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's good. He has some good
I've
stuff.
seen some really funny stuff from him over the, but yeah, I didn't think anybody would recognize me, and then of course this guy David Anderson recognizes me.
David Anderson wants me to star in 2 of his plays he wrote.
That's right. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever you could say about the guy, one, he's probably the nicest guy out of all
Oh
the other
yeah.
open
No,
micers.
I'm not saying anything.
And
he
then
was
two,
like
he's
the
always coming up with some new thing to do
yeah.
or some new shit.
And
to
all of his
try.
material is new every single time. I have 3. So you know those like little, not to get too inside baseball, but you know those, they're the like cardboard. You fill them out with your name and email address. You get free tickets.
Yeah.
I mentioned about it. He has written me 3, like on the back of them, they're blank. And he's written me 3 notes, and I have them in my notebook. And it's so nice. Like
He's a really sweet guy. He just gets involved.
After a few
and
weeks, he wrote me. He's like, "You have something special. I think you can really make it."
That's really cool.
And then like handed it to
Yeah,
me
he's a
across
nice
the table.
guy.
Oh, he's one of the closest like friends I have.
one
in
time
that.
after an open mic
scene.
years ago, I went out with him and a couple other guys. And
I don't know if I'd go out.
Yeah,
Look, David, I don't like. I
it
like
was-
you, brother, but
It was kind of a disaster.
yeah.
And at one point we were sitting at a table. It was during COVID, and they like walked in because they do it every week, and they just sat at a table. And then the waiter gave them a shit for it or whatever because of the COVID restrictions and whatever. It was kind of awkward. But at one point, we made a bet because when I was a kid. There was one time where, when I was a kid, I watched this movie, Dan in Real Life. It's a great movie. It's
Love
probably
Dan in Real
it's my
Life.
favorite rom-com
Yeah.
ever, by far. And Steve Carell is the star in that
Mm-hmm.
movie. And when I was a little kid, I mixed him up with Ben Stiller from Night of the Museum. That's how I was introduced to Ben Stiller.
I was gonna
as a
say,
little
is
kid.
that the?
No, that's not his hallmarks or whatever, but...
I did just watch. What's his movie? For the very first time, Tropic Thunder. I had
Oh,
never
yeah,
seen
it's
it
a great
before, like
movie.
a week and a half ago.
it's pretty funny.
It's really good.
Anyway, though, I had as a kid been like, oh, that's Ben Stiller, and then at a certain point, I realized, oh no, this is a completely different guy. I mean, they don't even really look that similar.
Yeah.
you know. And then a couple years go by. I was on a road trip with my family, and my younger brother was like, oh yeah, that Ben Stiller movie, Dan in Real Life. I go, no, that's Steve Carell, and he's like, what? No. And I said, I'll bet you anything.
You would
And
let him astray, or you both had just had the same thought?
I had the thought like a year before
Uh-huh.
this happened. Then he's like, it's a Ben Stiller movie. And I'm like, no, it's Steve Carell. We look it up, Steve Carell.
Yeah.
And I had remembered that. And I remembered that they were kind of easy to get mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I made this bet to David Anderson out at having a drink after. And because he made the same mistake.
Really?
He said, yeah, this Ben Stiller movie or whatever. And I said, no, it's Steve Carell. And he goes, it's Ben Stiller. I'll bet you anything. I said, $50 right now. And so I took $50 from him. Or
Oh,
whatever.
man. That was probably his last $50.
And like 2 weeks before that, he had asked me to host, or not host, he had asked me to play music for a show he was doing where it was me opening with music and then comedians and then a band. It was really strange.
It's tough.
And
He's always doing. He is.
he paid
so
me. He made
nice.
sure to pay me. He paid
Yeah.
me like $100. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you had a budget for this. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm selling these T-shirts.
I didn't.
And then in my head, I go, "Oh no, I'm taking advantage of you." But thank you for the $150.
I had
David.
written him off because he, after like a few weeks of me doing stand up, he gave me, excuse me, he gave me a script to like a play that he had written, and he asked me to be the main character, and I was like, "I'll
Do
read
you
it."
have the script?
Yeah,
I wonder if he'd be cool with us like reading a scene from it.
I'm sure he would. It's decent. I mean, it's short. It's the whole thing is. I think it's called The Irony of Slavery or something.
Okay,
And so it's
just two white guys.
well, it's a group, like a table full of slave owners, like going back,
Oh.
talking back and forth.
Oh,
But the
Interesting.
servants are listening.
do you know if he's mixed race? I can't
Yeah,
tell.
he's black.
Well, he's
Black
he's
and
black. He
maybe
leans into
Mexican
being
or
a-
something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
I
mixed.
just don't think he's
at least
fully
black and white.
black.
No, he's not fully.
I think he might be black and white.
Yeah, I think.
just wondering
I've
if
seen
he-
his
if
dad.
he's-
His dad's very. I think his dad's full black.
Okay.
So I haven't seen his mom.
Well, I just figured, like, why would he want to write about how the white people think about it if he didn't have any kind of
Yeah.
real life
It's a decent
experience?
script, but what I was saying is I had like written it off like, this guy, he just writes stuff, and because he's like, we're gonna get it going, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not gonna get it going, like people say they're doing stuff and they never do
Right.
it, but after hearing this, it sounds like he probably will end up doing it, which is pretty great. I mean, he's very driven. He's funny. I mean, like I said, all of his stuff is like new every single week, which he had challenged me to do a couple times. He's like, go up there with nothing and just like try in the moment. And I was like, I will embarrass myself.
Yeah.
And he's
Well,
like, just do it.
I think there's something really valuable to that.
Yeah.
Just getting comfortable. But also, I feel like you'll know when to.
Yeah. I've
that
already
kind of thing
gotten,
or not
yeah,
do that kind
I've
of
gotten to the point where it's like getting less and less.
I mean,
like,
professional
prepared.
comedians have the jokes written.
Yeah.
I mean, if not literally written, it's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you try it one way, and then you like are riffing at a club or something, and you get a new line, and then that's how they come up with their
Yeah.
whole act.
You just record it back and
yeah, but-
listen to it. And
His thing does have merit because it's like, I mean, this is an open mic. This is where we're supposed to come up with new things, and
if you were a working comedian,
Yeah.
and you went to an open mic, what would be the point other
Yeah.
than just
right.
I'm gonna try
Yeah.
some random shit?
There was a few new jokes that I did, but especially for like a hosting set, I'm the schedule came out for December. I'm closing.
Oh, nice.
The end of the month.
I would say that is a much bigger deal than hosting.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd
you
say it's a
don't get
step up.
paid.
I
as
don't know
much, but-
anything about it. But-
Well, I think the
As much.
hosting, the
What, it's
hosting
only
will show
$15?
25 and a $20 bar tab,
Yeah.
$45.
Yeah.
The hosting is nice because that's like how the club will start you, like with real comedians coming in, and they have
but they
you
also
host.
want to see that you can do.
Well, yeah, that's why you
8,
get
9,
6
10
minutes. Yeah, you get
or
6
whatever.
minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get 8 minutes when you close. So I'm excited about
Right.
that. but like for that too, I'm probably gonna do some of the stuff that I know works.
Of course.
Just because. So I did 3 jokes that I had never done before when hosting. That joke about RFK. I said he's
I don't
come
remember
on.
it.
It's fine. I wasn't expecting you to. I said Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has come under a lot of fire lately for his "Make America Healthy Again" campaign. You know, seems like people are not into that. He's still the least under fire of any Kennedy of all time.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then the one about my son calling his nipples pimples and then saying that.
Oh, right.
So that one was brand new. And then the one about the kids playing with my grandparents' ashes. I had never done any of
I
those
really
ones.
liked that one. That's an insane story.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's mostly true. They didn't get them out of the bag, but they were playing with the ashes like
I see.
in the Ziploc. And
Yeah.
I thought it would have been funnier like,
also
if I had
think
to
I-
vacuum up my grandparents.
I also
or-
think that could easily be like a 5-minute thing
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I would like to get more time. You know, like if I have 20 minutes, then a lot of the jokes will be, you know, then there's like a tiny joke here, then the punchline. But right now I'm mainly doing like setup, maybe one more line, punch. Just because, you know, you get 4 minutes.
Right.
So you can't really do, like, I don't want to do a 3-minute long story.
Right.
And then I think the punchline is good and then it bombs. Then I'm like, okay, well, I don't have,
Yeah.
that's the whole set.
I
And
just
now you
sucked
think
this
that
set.
I
Yeah.
am horrible.
Right.
But yeah, it was really fun. I'm excited to close. But yeah, I appreciate that you came.
That's great. I'll try to make it out to that one.
Yeah. Do we want to take a break?
Yeah, let's
Maybe try to
take a-
figure out the
let's take a
clicking
break.
and hit the Patreon or
Sorry
something.
about the clicking, you guys.
Yeah, no, it's kind of lame.
It's super lame.
So we'll try to figure it out. Subscribe to the Patreon. It's not out, so you
Yeah.
can't. But we'll do another little bit.
We'll get it there eventually.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you guys for listening.
Starship, come in. This is command. I repeat, this is command. If you can hear me, please respond. Oh my god, what is that? Messing the signal up. Oh god.
It is us, the Bohemians. We have taken your bitches to our leader, the